Are your favorite foods vanishing before your eyes? This summer, some everyday essentials are quietly slipping off store shelves, and most people don't even realize it yet. The shortages are sneaky, but we've got you covered. Today we're revealing 9 foods that are disappearing fast. Don't get caught off guard when you're craving that go-to item, only to find the aisle empty. We'll help you stay ahead, shop smarter, and stock up on what you really need before it's too late. If you're ready to take control of your grocery list, stick around, but first hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss out on must-know updates like this one. Let's get into it. 1. Olive oil is disappearing fast. If olive oil is a pantry must-have for you, brace yourself this summer. The kitchen staple is becoming harder to find as a climate crisis grips southern Europe, where Spain and Italy produce nearly 2/3 of the global supply. What's causing the squeeze? Extreme droughts, relentless heat waves, and overworked irrigation systems are slashing olive harvests by up to 50% in some regions. Spain's Andalusia, famously dubbed the olive oil capital of the world, is facing the kind of conditions farmers dread. Meanwhile, Italy isn't faring any better. Unusual spring frosts followed by punishing heat have left olive trees struggling to recover, shrinking yields dramatically. To make matters worse, labor shortages are compounding the issue, leaving producers with fewer workers to salvage the crop. The impact? Prices for extra virgin olive oil have skyrocketed, jumping by more than 70% compared to last year, and store shelves in some areas are already looking bare. The situation might only get worse, with experts predicting this summer could be a breaking point for global olive oil supply. So, what can you do to prepare? First, grab an extra bottle or two of your favorite olive oil if it's still in stock. Don't wait too long. Retailers are increasingly passing soaring wholesale costs onto shoppers. You might also consider alternatives. Avocado oil's creamy flavor and high smoke point make it a great substitute for cooking. Sunflower oil offers a neutral option, perfect for baking or frying. But there's a catch. As demand shifts to these oils, their prices could jump too. The bottom line? Act fast if olive oil is a staple in your kitchen. Stock up before shortages ripple further through the market. And don't be afraid to try new options. Every drop will count this summer. 2. Certain fish species are swimming off shelves. Love fresh salmon or a good tuna steak? You might want to savor every bite, because certain fish species are rapidly disappearing. And it's not just inflation causing it. Wild-caught salmon and yellowfin tuna are among the hardest hit, with wild salmon catches down by 35% and yellowfin tuna stocks plummeting by an alarming 60%. For wild salmon, it's a struggle against rising water temperatures in streams and the ocean, which disrupt their feeding and spawning rituals. Add in severe droughts affecting the Pacific Northwest and Alaska, and salmon habitats are at risk of becoming unlivable. That means fewer salmon making it to your plate and heftier price tags wherever they do show up. Meanwhile, yellowfin tuna are in trouble due to decades of relentless overfishing. Demand for sushi-grade tuna and canned products has pushed the species to its breaking point, particularly in the Indian and Pacific Oceans. Weak international regulations and rampant illegal fishing aren't helping the situation either. This ripple effect goes beyond your grocery runs. Restaurants are scaling back on fish faker menu items. Fish markets are becoming pricier, and suppliers are pivoting to farm-raised alternatives. However, farmed fish often comes with other issues, like antibiotic use and environmental concerns. Not exactly the feel-good substitute you're looking for. Summer is prime time for seafood, but this year's grilling season could make shortages even more noticeable. Shrinking supplies will mean higher costs and less variety, not just at stores, but in your favorite recipes too. What can you do? If seafood is a big part of your diet, it might be time to stock up. Freezing fresh fish now can save you both money and headaches later on. Consider experimenting with other sustainable alternatives like Pacific cod or farm-raised trout. But don't wait too long. With demand climbing and supply dropping, your options could become slim before you know it. 3. Say goodbye to easy access to dairy. If eggs and dairy staples like butter and cream are regulars on your grocery list, brace yourself. These essentials are becoming harder to find, and the reasons are piling up fast. First up, the push for cage-free egg production is shaking things up. While better living conditions for hens is a win for animal welfare, transitioning farms isn't simple or cheap. Many producers are scaling back or even shutting down because of the high costs and space requirements. This means fewer eggs coming to store shelves. Then there's the ongoing bird flu outbreak, a crisis that has devastated poultry farms nationwide. Millions of birds, including egg-laying hens, have been culled to prevent the virus from spreading further. Rebuilding those flocks isn't quick. Baby chicks don't become egg layers overnight, and many farmers are hesitant to restock while the virus lingers. But the egg shortage doesn't end there. It ripples through the entire dairy sector. Fewer eggs mean higher demand for other key ingredients like butter and milk, especially since baked goods depend on all these items. Add to that rising feed costs, labor shortages, and supply chain hiccups, and you've got dairy prices creeping higher and selection shrinking. Planning to bake this summer or stock up for weekend breakfasts? It might be wise to buy extra eggs, butter, and cream now while they're still within reach. Toss them in the fridge or freezer, especially since these shortages show no signs of improving soon. You could also experiment with alternatives. Plant-based dairy options, like oat or almond milk, are easy to find and versatile in many recipes. Still, as more people turn to these substitutes, those markets could feel the effects too. Bottom line, if you rely on dairy or eggs, don't wait for empty shelves to catch you off guard. Better to shop ahead than be left scrambling when the real crunch hits. 4. Spices are losing their flavorful grip. Spices may seem small, but they're about to leave a big void in your pantry. This summer, some of your favorite seasonings might vanish from shelves faster than you think, leaving cooks scrambling for alternatives. Vanilla, the crown jewel of many desserts, is facing a crisis. Madagascar, the source of nearly 80% of the world's vanilla beans, has been devastated by back-to-back cyclones. Vanilla crops, which already take years to mature, have been decimated, with surviving harvests plagued by theft and black market activity. Farmers are picking beans too early to avoid losing them to thieves, resulting in lower quality and skyrocketing prices. Synthetic vanilla isn't faring much better, and companies are struggling to meet demand. But vanilla isn't the only spice suffering. Cinnamon exports from Indonesia are slowing down as the country prioritizes its domestic supply, leaving the global market understocked. Cardamom and cloves are grappling with unpredictable rainfall, making harvests less reliable, while saffron's less impressive production has been hit hard by scorching temperatures in Iran and Kashmir. Even turmeric, a staple for many cuisines and wellness remedies, faces challenges. Indian ports are seeing massive delays due to labor shortages, creating bottlenecks for its export. These issues highlight the global spice trade's fragility. Since most spices are grown in just a few regions, any disruption hits worldwide supply fast. If your cooking heavily depends on spices, now is the time to stock up. Focus on your go-to flavors like cumin, paprika, and cinnamon. Store them properly in airtight containers away from heat and light to extend their shelf life. Taking it a step further, try growing your own herbs and milder spices at home. With a little effort, an indoor setup can help fill the gap when store shelves get sparse. Don't wait until your favorite spices are gone or overpriced. Stock up now, because the pinch in the spice aisle is only going to intensify. Iced coffee crisis brewing. Coffee lovers, brace yourselves. Your morning pick-me-up might be harder to find this summer, and it's not just about rising prices. Coffee is slipping into a full-blown crisis as supply chains take hit after hit across the globe. Brazil, the titan of coffee production, is grappling with its worst drought in nearly 100 years. Combined with scorching heat waves, this has slashed coffee yields by a staggering 40%. That's millions of pounds of beans gone, leaving a giant hole in the global market. Meanwhile, Vietnam, the Robusta bean powerhouse, is facing water shortages and record-breaking heat. These beans, used in instant coffee and budget blends, are becoming scarce, causing shipments to plunge. Add to that disruptions in other key regions like Ethiopia and Colombia, where political and logistical issues are delaying harvests and exports, and it's clear that coffee shortages are brewing on a massive scale. And what does this mean for your coffee routine? Prices are already climbing. Arabica beans have hit a 10-year high, and retailers are cutting down on brands to prioritize basics over variety. Your favorite roasts might quietly disappear from shelves, replaced by fewer, pricier options. If coffee is non-negotiable for you, it's time to plan ahead. Stock up on vacuum-sealed or freezer-friendly bags to keep your coffee fresh for months. Consider trying less popular roasts or blends if your first choice becomes scarce. And if you've been flirting with alternatives, now might be the time to take the leap. Chicory-based drinks, mushroom coffee, or even tea could serve as backups when your go-to coffee isn't an option. Global trends suggest this isn't a short-term blip. Coffee is inching closer to luxury status, and the shelves might reflect that sooner than you'd like. Don't wait until your morning ritual becomes a casualty of this growing crisis. A little preparation now can save you a world of disappointment later. 6. Rice is heading toward a major shortage. Rice, the go-to staple for millions worldwide, is facing a perfect storm of challenges this summer. If it's a regular on your menu, now's the time to pay close attention because the supply chain is unraveling fast. First, Thailand, one of the world's top rice exporters, is struggling with relentless flooding that's wiped out around 30% of its crop output. Farmlands have been submerged, seedlings drowned, and waterlogged fields left unusable. Given Thailand's role in exporting over 8 million metric tons of rice annually, this shortfall comes with global consequences. Then there's India. Known for supplying more than 40% of the world's rice exports, the Indian government has extended its export ban on non-basmati white rice. They're prioritizing their domestic needs, but this move has sent global buyers scrambling. Prices are soaring, and competing exporters can't keep up. Vietnam, another key player, is battling saltwater intrusion in the Mekong Delta, a vital rice-growing region. This environmental crisis is shrinking harvests at an alarming rate, and solutions like water management systems are too costly and slow to roll out in time. The combined fallout from these disruptions has already started rippling through grocery stores. Shelf space for rice is shrinking, and prices have jumped by as much as 20% in some places. And if you think this is a temporary hiccup, think again. These setbacks are poised to affect the supply for months, possibly longer. To avoid feeling the pinch, consider stocking up on your favorite rice varieties now. Whether it's jasmine, basmati, or plain white, grab a few extra bags and store them in a cool, dry space. Rice has a long shelf life, so you'll be protecting your pantry from price spikes or empty shelves down the line. This summer, rice isn't just a staple, it's becoming a hot commodity. Don't wait until the shortage hits your dinner table. Prepare now and save yourself the hassle later. 7. Wheat products are about to get scarce. Your bread, pasta, and pancake mix might soon be a little harder to find. Wheat products, a global food staple, are facing serious hurdles this summer, and the reasons are piling up fast. First, wild weather is wreaking havoc on major wheat-growing nations. In the U.S. Midwest, spring planting was delayed by floods, while Kansas, America's wheat heartland, battles a relentless drought. Similarly, Canada's wheat belt has been hit with unseasonably dry conditions, threatening yield size. Meanwhile, heavy rains in France and Germany have significantly damaged wheat harvests, reducing quality and supply. Then layer in global tensions. Ukraine, formerly a supplier of 10% of the world's wheat exports, is struggling to maintain shipments due to the ongoing war. Trade routes have partially reopened but remain unreliable. Add Russia to the mix, where wheat has become a geopolitical weapon as they restrict exports to influence global markets. The result? An unpredictable, fragile supply chain with skyrocketing prices. For consumers, the impact is already showing up on store shelves. A bag of flour might cost $1 more. Your favorite pasta brand could be missing or costlier than last week. Even frozen pizzas or boxed cereal might quietly vanish, leaving fewer options for wheat-based essentials. The ripple effect extends beyond homes, too. Smaller bakeries and restaurants are feeling the squeeze as prices climb, and bulk stockpiling from larger corporations makes it harder to source ingredients. If wheat plays a big role in your household, now is the time to stock up, but do it smartly. Focus on long-lasting staples like flour, pasta, breadcrumbs, and ready mixes like pancake or cake batter. Store them in a cool, dry place to extend their shelf life. By planning ahead, you can avoid empty shelves and rising costs. Don't wait for a full-blown shortage to disrupt mealtime favorites. Prepare now, and you'll be miles ahead when the crunch hits. 8. Cocoa and chocolate might be off the candy bar soon. Chocoholics, take note. Cocoa and chocolate products are heading toward troubled times, and this summer your favorite sweet treats might not be as easy to find. The global cocoa industry, which depends heavily on West Africa's Ivory Coast and Ghana for 70% of its supply, is battling challenges on multiple fronts. The biggest culprit? A devastating drought. West Africa is experiencing its worst dry spell in over 3 decades, leaving cocoa trees parched. These trees aren't just any crops. They're delicate and require just the right mix of rain and shade to thrive. Without consistent rainfall, cocoa pods shrivel and die before they can ripen. Farmers report alarming losses this season, with pods falling prematurely or failing to mature altogether. It's not just the weather causing issues. Labor shortages are also hitting cocoa farms hard. Younger generations are leaving rural areas for jobs in urban centers, leaving older farmers behind to maintain highly demanding operations. With fewer hands to help, cocoa yields are sinking even lower. For you, the chocolate lover, this means higher prices and disappearing options. Many candy makers are already raising prices to cope with costs, and some are quietly shrinking product sizes through shrinkflation. Premium items like artisan chocolates or specialty cocoa powders might be hit first, but mainstream brands aren't in the clear either. Even chocolate manufacturers working with long-term supply contracts are feeling the squeeze. As cocoa becomes harder to source, meeting customer demand could turn into an uphill battle. If you can't live without your chocolate fix, it's time to stock up. Focus on long-lasting items like baking chocolate, cocoa powder, or vacuum-sealed bars. These can hold up for months if stored properly, so you won't have to ration your dessert plans. This isn't just a temporary shortage. Chocolate is slowly becoming a luxury item. Act now, and you'll save your sweet tooth from unexpected disappointment. Trust us, you'll thank yourself later when that after-dinner chocolate craving hits. 9. Fresh produce faces a rocky road. Fresh produce might be the next category to hit your hard-to-find list this summer. While it's a grocery staple, its availability is quietly being threatened by forces you might not expect. The biggest culprit? Climate upheaval. Key farming regions like California and the Midwest are swinging between extremes, dealing with severe droughts one month and overwhelming floods the next. These unpredictable weather shifts are devastating fragile crops like lettuce, tomatoes, and berries. One week farmers are battling dry, cracked soil. The next, their fields are submerged, with crops washed away or left to rot. The result is fewer harvests hitting store shelves, leading to noticeable gaps and rising prices in the produce aisle. But the weather isn't the only challenge. Labor shortages are making matters worse. Farms depend on seasonal workers to plant, pick, and care for crops. Tighter immigration policies and visa delays have drastically reduced this workforce. With fewer hands in the fields, many vegetables and fruits are simply left unharvested, wasting what could otherwise stock your pantry. The effects are clear. Ever wondered why strawberries might cost more than steak this summer? It's the simple math of supply and demand. When fewer crops are available during peak grilling and salad season, prices climb fast. Shoppers will also discover reduced choices, with bins that often look emptier than expected. If fresh produce is a big part of your diet, it's time to plan ahead. Diversify your options by looking at canned, frozen, or even locally sourced products. While these might not replace the crisp bite of a fresh apple or a juicy tomato, they can help you ride out shortages without breaking the bank. With climate and labor challenges showing no signs of easing, unpredictable availability of fresh fruits and vegetables might just become the new norm. Stay ahead and prepare now to avoid the squeeze later. By staying informed about potential shortages, you can take proactive steps to ensure your pantry stays stocked and your meals remain satisfying. Whether it's stocking up on non-perishables, exploring alternative sources, or preserving seasonal produce, preparation is key to navigating these uncertain times. Don't wait until your favorite foods are hard to find. Act now to mitigate the impact of these shortages. A little planning today can go a long way in keeping your kitchen resilient and your household prepared for whatever the summer months may bring.